We are reviewing decimals as we learned them in 4th grade. This is 5th grade Singapore Mathematics, Chapter 7. We are starting a new books on page 8. So let's recall what we remember about decimals from last year. Well, we do know that decimals are fractions. They're very closely related cousins, I would say, and that we write decimals using this decimal point, which we've been familiar with since we learned about money in 3rd grade. So let's consider this example. 83 hundredths is the same as 8 tenths and 3 hundredths. Yes, we can break up 83 hundredths, 83 hundredths into 80 hundredths and 3 hundredths, right? And because remember, this trailing zero, it's an equivalent fraction. We can remove it and it becomes 0.8 plus 3 hundredths. Now, we can also think of 83 hundredths as 8 tenths. That's what 8 to be 8 means in this place. And 3 hundredths. That's what it means to be 3 in this place. 8 tenths plus 3 hundredths is 83 hundredths, and we can write 83 hundredths in the way we write decimals as 0.83. Remember, first decimal place, second decimal place. Let's take a look at it a little bit more. Let's start by practicing. One whole can be broken into 10 equal parts, right? One whole can be broken into 10 equal parts, and each of these parts is 1/10. 1/10. 1/10. 1 is the same as 10 tenths, or we would write it using simple fractions in such a way. Now, 1/10, each of this 1/10, this little brown discs, right? We can further break it up into 10 equal parts, right? We can break it up into 10 equal parts, and each of those 10 parts will be, let's write it down, each of these green tiny discs would be 1/10 of 1/10, which is the same as 1/100ths, right? So 1/10 is the same as 10 hundredths. Let's take a look at the way we write it as a simple fraction. Isn't it true that these two fractions are equivalent, right? We learned about fraction equivalency in 3rd grade, right? So we can multiply times 10 in the numerator, multiply times 10 in the denominator, and we do get 10 tenths. So 1/10 is equivalent to 10 hundredths. We can exchange them. So write a decimal for each of the following. I am right here. Write a decimal for each of the following, and we're going to have 3 examples: A, example B, and example C. I hope you guys are recalling this from our 4th grade. So 3 tenths and 5 hundredths all together gives us 35 hundredths, which we write as 0.35. Of course, we can write it as 35 hundredths, but we don't need to go through this intermediate step. We can just jump straight to decimals. Example B, 3 ones. Yes, this is 3 ones, right here. And 7 tenths. And 7 tenths gives us 37 tenths. 37 tenths. We would write 37 tenths as 37 tenths, which is equivalent to 3 7 tenths, which we can write down as 3.7 in the language of fractions. And finally, example C, we have 2 ones plus 4 hundredths. 2 ones plus 4 hundredths, we get 204 hundredths. Well, let's try to write it like this. 204 hundredths, we can simplify it into a mixed number as 2 wholes and 4 hundredths, which in turn we can write down in a decimal notation as 2.04. Remember, 2 decimal places. Hundredths have 2 decimal places. Let's move forward. Number 2, we are now on page 9. So 100ths, let's go into thousandths. 100ths, 100 is equivalent to 10,000. Well, I can prove this to you why this is true. We can write 100ths as a simple fraction is the same as 10 out of 1,000 equal parts. And we can see that these are equivalents, right? We can multiply times 10 and we can multiply times 10 the numerator and denominator, and we do see that these are equivalents. Therefore, this exchange of 100 to 10,000 means it's an equal exchange. So let's practice writing fractions up to thousands. Write a decimal. Again, we have three examples, A, B, and C, and I'm reminding everyone we're on page 9. So let's take a look at what we have. What do we have? We have 200ths right here, right? Let's put this in the box. And we have 4,000ths. We can say, we don't even need to go through this intermediate step. We can just say, we don't have any holes. It's 0.2, 0, no, so sorry, 200. So of course, this would be 200ths and 4,000ths. So we would have 24,000ths. I guess it is helpful to go through the intermediate step. 24,000ths, 24 out of 1,000 equal parts. Now let's take a look at example B. We have 3/10ths. Here they are. This is 3/10ths plus 100ths, right? We're adding up the discs, and 5,000ths. Altogether, we will have 35,000ths. We would write it as 315, 315 out of 1,000 equal parts, and we can write it in decimal. Notation is no holes, 0, and after the decimal point goes the smaller parts. 315 thousandths. Thousands have 3 decimal places. And final example on page 9, we have 4 ones. Of course, we will have 4 ones, followed by 2,000ths. Okay, we have this decimal point separating the wholes and the fractional pieces. So 2,000ths, we would write them as 0.002. So of course we have 4.002, or we would say 4 and 2 thousandths. Now, I do love these tables very much on page 10. So let's take a look. This is called place value. Every time we're looking at numbers, decimals or large numbers, we're looking at place value. Place value means the number in a specific place has a certain value. So 2/10ths, of course, we have 20. Do we have any units? No, we have 0 units, 0 ones. How many tenths do we have? We have 0.4 tenths. How many hundredths? We have 0.03 hundredths. And how many thousandths? We have 0.125 thousandths. So let's take a look. We read this number as 20.435, and it has 2/10ths. 2/10ths. Notice the spelling. 4/10ths, 300ths, and 5,000ths. Please be mindful of this spelling. We have TH for tenths, hundredths, and thousands. The digit 5 in the thousands place, what is the value? It is the value of 0.005. And what is the value of the other digits? Well, we just label them. 2 represents 2/10ths for 20. 4 represents 4/10ths for 0.4. So we can write it in expanded form. 20 plus 0.4 plus 0.03 plus 0.005. Altogether, we have 20.435 thousandths. Now, let's do some mental math. What is 100ths more than 5.62, I hope you recognize that we are bumping up the hundredths. Of course, it's 5.63. What is 100th less than 5.62? We are reducing this place, this digit, 5.61. What is 1,000th more? Well, I hope you recognize that we are going to bump up, increase the thousandth digit. So it will be 4.537. And what is 1,000 less? I hope you're recognizing that we will be reducing the thousandth digit. Some mental math for our brain, very good for us. And it's 4.535. Let's continue with place value. What is the missing number in each of the blank orange spaces? I'm going to read the numbers because it's very important to learn to read them correctly. 27 and 148 thousandths is blank more than 27. Well, I hope you see by place value that it's 0.148 thousandths more. Now we have same digit. 27 and 148 thousandths is blank more than 27.1. Well, this is the difference, right? This is the difference. We can always put these trailing zeros. So what is the difference? It's 0.48 thousandths. And finally, 27 and 148 thousandths is blank more than 27 and 14 hundredths. Well, or we can say 140 thousandths. We can think of it that way, and we see that the difference is only 0.08. Oh, so sorry. 0.008 or 8 thousandths. Let me erase this interesting mark that just came up. Finally, I'm on page number 10. What is the missing number? Well, let's take a look at the place value. The first number is 30,000, 30 and 134 thousandths. So what do we have on the left? We see the number on the left. On the right, we have 30. That's great. We have 3 hundredths. That's wonderful. And we have 4 thousandths. So the only digit is missing is 1 in place of tenth. So it's 0.1. Let's take a look at what we have on the left. Again, in part B, we have 4.506 thousandths. Okay, let's take a look. We have 4, fantastic, on the right. We have 5 tenths, yes. And what else that we're missing? We're missing the last digit, which is 6 in place of thousandths. So it's 0.006. Now, let's take a look at the final example on this page. We have 30 and 23 thousandths. Well, I hope you recognize right away that on the right-hand side, we do have 23,000, same as on the left, but we are missing 30 wholes. I hope you find this video as a refresher of your grade 4 decimal place value, and there will be more videos to come.